One of my most highly anticipated films this year came out this week. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. I'm just kidding, that's not my most anticipated film. Barbie comes out this year, come on. All jokes aside, Transformers did come out this week, and I did go watch it. I went to go see it more out of curiosity than excitement. I'd only ever seen the first movie in the series, the 2007, I believe, movie with like Shia LaBeouf and Michael Bay was directing, that one. I saw the original film in the series, but after hearing how good the reviews were and that this movie takes place before the original film, so I technically wouldn't be missing anything, I knew I had to check it out. So I did. And to my surprise, I had a really good time watching this film. I really enjoyed it. The action is great. The fight scenes are really fun to watch. The character designs and models are incredible. I can't believe how good the Transformers look. However, Transformers: Rise of the Beast has a lot of bad acting, massive plot holes, and left me with a lot of questions as I walked out of the theater. But before we get any farther, spoilers ahead if you haven't seen Transformers: Rise of the Beast. If you haven't seen it yet, pause this video, click away, go watch it, and then you can come back. But you've been warned, so let's get into it. The movie begins with the massive planet-eating Unicron attacking a planet where the Maximals live. The Maximals are like the Gorilla Transformer and the Cheetah Transformer and the Rhino Transformer. Unicron sends his servant Scourge, who is sick, by the way. This character is so cool looking. And the way they intro him, like coming out from the dark. Anyway, besides the point. Unicron sends Scourge to retrieve the Transwarp Key, a magical device that allows for travel across time and space, which Unicron needs to be able to travel to other dimensions so that he can eat those planets. My dude's massively hungry. But the problem is, for some reason, he can't travel to other dimensions. Now you may be thinking, why is that? Why can't he travel to other dimensions?
Well, listen, sir, this is not the kind of movie where I'm going to be answering that kind of question, okay?
With help from their leader, who sacrifices himself to aid in the escape, the Maximals are able to leave the planet with the key, ultimately trapping Unicron in the dimension. But Unicron is set on getting this Transwarp Key and sends Scourge out to search the universe for the key. We then jump to New York 1994. I believe it's 1994. It may be 96. Where we meet Noah Diaz, a former soldier who is currently unemployed. He has difficulty finding a job after leaving the army because of his brother's illness. After being unable to get a security job, he turns to stealing cars to be able to help his family out. Meanwhile, at Ellis Island, we are introduced to Elena, an intern at a museum on the island, where a piece of the Transwarp Key is discovered. While studying it, Elena accidentally activates the key, alerting Scourge that the key is on Earth. We then cut back to Noah, who passes a bunch of good-looking cars to steal an even better-looking Porsche, which just so happens to be the Autobot Mirage. Mirage is called in by Optimus Prime while Noah is in the car after Elena activates the key. After murdering at least 3 police officers, the scene was sick, but all those guys are dead. I know they don't want us to think that, but Mirage just killed all these police officers. Anyway, Mirage meets up with the rest of the Autobots, where it's revealed that Optimus wants the key so that they can go back home to Cybertron. Mirage then convinces Noah to steal the key from the museum, during which Noah meets Elena, but Scourge and the Terracons arrive and a battle ensues between the Autobots and the Terracons. The Autobots end up losing the fight, and the Terracons get away with the key. All hope seems lost, but a Predacon, I believe the Eagle Lady is a Predacon. Anyway, an Eagle Transformer named Airazor tells the Autobots of a second piece of the Transwarp Key hidden in Peru. Together, the Autobots, Noah, Elena, and Airazor, they head to Peru to find the key before Scourge to save both of their worlds. Now, I have so many questions I want to discuss, but first, let's get the good and the bad out of the way. The good is, as I said earlier, this movie looks really good. And what I mean by that is the designs and the animation for the Transformers is incredible. They look really cool, and the animation and the CGI of when they're actually transforming, I thought was so cool. And during fights, how they transform from cars to transform, I mean, it's so cool. I get why people watch these when I see scenes of them transforming. It's still cool, it's still really satisfying to watch, and they did a really good job of that here in this movie. Also, the fights were some of the highlights of the film, which I think we all know is the reason we watch these films. I also really enjoyed the introduction of the Maximals, their designs. I thought the Rhino and the Cheetah were really cool, and I wish they got more screen time and a little bit more dialogue. And as I said earlier, Scourge is super cool. He's a really cool villain. He's intimidating, he's ruthless, and he's an actual threat to the Autobots. Now to the bad. The acting in this film is just, it's not it. Given the script doesn't give any of the actors a lot of room to work with. The dialogue's pretty bad throughout the film, but you could have wished for a little bit more. Majority of the human scenes are really cringy and really boring and hard to watch. I remember sitting in the theater just thinking, man, I can't wait till we get to the next fight, or at least just scenes with Transformers in them. Again, I understand why it's really expensive to do all these things, to have these characters in certain scenes, and it's just hard to do, but I wish there was more. It also didn't help the fact that I didn't really ever care about the humans. And again, I think a lot of that is due to the fact that I just wanted to watch robots fight one another. I mean, do you blame me? But I wasn't able to get attached to any of them. They also didn't really justify them being in the rest of the film after the Ellis Island fight. I mean, Elena, they want to bring her to Peru because she knows where Peru is and where the church they're looking for is. But at the same time, she's never left the country. So, like, once they get there, it's kind of like, what's she supposed to do then? And then Noah just seems to go for some reason. I guess it's to protect Earth or whatever, but I don't know what he's going to do against Scourge. I really don't. I don't know. I think what I'm trying to say through all of this is I wish there was less time spent on the humans trying to make us care for them, because it doesn't really work, but rather spend that time fleshing out the Maximals and the Autobots. Now, as I've said earlier, I had a lot of questions walking out of the theater. Look, one of the things I remember about the first Transformers film, besides all the explosions and LaBeouf and all that stuff, one thing I remember is that the Transformers actually arrived on Earth in that film. Bumblebee was already there, but the rest of the Transformers arrived in that film. But this movie, Rise of the Beasts, takes place before the first film, and they're still on Earth after that movie. That begs the question, did they leave? And if so, how? Who knows? Maybe they left that question there so that they can make another movie set before the first one. I don't really know. Also, how did the Maximals get to Earth? Why did they choose that place to post up? It's never really explained. And also, if the Maximals have been on Earth all this time, where have they been the rest of the Transformers movies? Where have they been these last 5 movies, 6 movies? Why have we never heard of them? Yes, I know they're hidden in Peru. You know, the Autobots know about them. So where are they? Where are they in the rest of the Transformers movies? I don't understand it. And in regards to Unicron, why can't he chase down the key? Yes, I realize he's stuck in the dimension. And the reason I'm asking that is because his servants, the Terracon, Scourge, can travel wherever they want. I mean, they go searching. So how does that work? And in the movie's defense, it doesn't really have to. I also have questions like, how the frick did Bumblebee get revived? And even if his revival made sense, why didn't Mirage get revived or Airazor also come back to life at that point? I'm sure they'll never explain it. Also, don't even get me started on G.I. Joe. Like, what the heck? Look, I have a lot of other questions, but I'm not going to cover all of them in this video. It's just the movie doesn't explain a lot, and I left the theater more confused and with more questions than after watching any other like multiverse movie, which should be more confusing than Transformers, right? Look, Transformers Rise of the Beast is by no means a bad film. It's really fun to watch, and the action is pretty great. The Autobots look better than ever, and the Maximals are a really nice addition to this universe. But cringy dialogue and a confusing timeline weigh this thing down. But with all that said, it sets up some pretty interesting sequels, and definitely got me wanting to watch the rest of the series. But that's about it from me. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought about Rise of the Beasts. But as always, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and until next time, peace out, bro skillets.